joining us very soon, the victorious coach, still unbeaten as well in Essendon Ford Division 1 this season. And as he joins us in the box now, Digby, congratulations on another win. In the end, fairly convincing performance. The margin may be a little bit misleading, if anything, but what did you make of the game today?
What was the margin in the end?
18 points.
18 points. Yeah, listen, I thought it was a pretty tight game all game, and three-quarter time it could have gone either way. And, after half-time, I thought our pressure, earlier our pressure was very good and dropped off a little bit, and they got back in the game in the second quarter, and, we upped our pressure, and we just didn't allow them to move the ball. And, I think our midfielders did a good job in the stoppages. I think we're +7 in the end, and that was a pleasing thing. We rolled Aidan Doherty coming back in after sort of a couple of weeks off. I thought he was, gave us a good drive, and Paddy Swalgo was in there as well, giving us a good crack as well.
You mentioned +7 at the clearances today, Digby. That was where the game was won. It was a real arm wrestle. There was a lot of clearances that were neutral. How often do you guys work on those sort of stoppage situations during training and that type of thing? Yeah,
we spent a fair bit of time. We had 56 restarts on our clock, which is obviously a ball up and then another ball up, and that's something we really pride ourselves on. We're not a team that looks for a 140 point to 120 point victory. It's not the way we play. So, it's a big, barometer for us, and I was really pleased with that. And like I say, I thought we had a good spread again today, which has been the most pleasing thing. I don't think there's any standouts in our team. We probably had 22 guys who did something today.
Digby, we spoke to Marwan directly after the game, and he mentioned a lot of boys at the moment doing their Ramadan routine, obviously. Yep. Gee, that's a great credit, isn't it? I mean, you have to put in a big effort in days like this against quality opposition, and he was one of the better players on the ground today. Him and a couple others that probably are doing it at the moment. So that's a big tick for your club.
I think we've got 7 or 8 they're in the process of Ramadan, and listen, all I've asked out of those guys is they be honest, and if they're a bit flat and having a bad week or they're not feeling very good, then we're happy to roll them out and give them a week off, and to the boys' credit. They're all professionals, like the Kari boys have played a lot of footy, Marwan's played a lot of footy, Omar Saad has. So they sort of know how to deal with it. Obviously, it's fairly difficult with water and all that kind of stuff. But, I think, I thought Marwan's game was outstanding today, the way he sort of controlled around the ball. And, he's just smart with the ball. He doesn't give it up too often. So, really pleasing. Obviously, come finals, hopefully we're in a better position in regards to all those boys. But, I can't ask any more from what they're giving me at the moment.
With this ground, Digby, it's a bit of a strange shape, the flat wings there. Is there a certain way that you want to play this ground?
Oh, we play it the same we play every other ground.
Yep.
Like people come here and complain about the size and how it looks and the shape of it, but it's still a ground. It's got sticks at the end and it doesn't change. We play the same way, on Craigieburn, last weekend out at Tulla's ground earlier on in the year. It really doesn't make any difference. It's working within a structure and making sure everyone plays within that structure. And we've obviously got a few things we can do here, and playing here is an advantage, and training here is an advantage. But it definitely doesn't change the way we play.
And sorry, Adam, you go.
I was going to say, obviously in September it's a different story because you're playing at your Highgates and your Coburgs and your Windy Hills and whatnot. Even though you say that it probably won't make too much of a difference for how you go about it, but certainly opposition teams might throw in some different tactics here and there. But for your guys in September, obviously, because you will be there now, can't see it changing up too much exactly how you guys go about it.
Our game plan is to play on big grounds. It's the first thing I said when I got down to the club, that I'm not playing a game plan that suits Shore Reserve. All our finals are on big grounds. We need to run. We need to be able to move the ball. And I still think we do that really well here, and we do it better than other teams because we understand the ground. But give us a big ground where we can open it up and get some leg speed and get our boys outside. We're really looking forward to that.
One thing I noticed today, Stuart probably had the most unique passage of play in that it was quick clearance, kick, mark, goal. We only really saw one really beautiful, clean piece of ball movement the entire day. The rest was really a war of attrition. I guess when the weather improves and the grounds improve, are we going to see more of the clean stuff? And did that put a smile on your face? Is what I'm trying to ask, to see just a nice clinical goal at that stage of the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's obviously difficult conditions. A bit muddy, and I thought the weather held out pretty well, and the game was of a reasonable standard considering. And but yeah, listen, we've obviously got some really good forwards who can catch the ball. So dry weather football, being able to move the ball. We've got guys with a lot of leg speed and outside speed. So we think, we're looking forward to the dry weather and zinging it around, and I think the boys are too.
You mentioned before the game to me, Digby, that you guys are about probably between 80 and 90% at the moment. The thing that I think is really good is that, as you mentioned, you've got a lot of outside pace, blokes like Abdi Fidax and also Saeed Elmi as
Yep.
well. And who are some of the other players that come back into this side as well? You mentioned the 20% or so that are missing.
Oh, listen, we have Jared Smith's obviously a class player, and he hasn't played. He's played the last few weeks and started to get a bit of form, and he just wasn't quite right this week. Bo Hopkins rucked the first half of the year and did a really good job, and he's missing. He's not obviously neither one of those are outside speed, but they're pretty key to our setup. There's a few other guys who are pushing for spots, and over the last month we've played a lot of young kids, which has been pleasing, and. Like I say, we've got a few up our sleeve, but we won't lay them all on the table.
And just lastly, you were on the team sheet, but then scribbled out. A tactical decision, or was there a team balance thing, or was it just a personal choice?
2 weeks on, 6 weeks off for me.
He's the trump card, Teo.
Oh yeah. My outside speed's going to be the difference. There's no doubt about that. But listen, I've filled in the last couple of weeks because our ruckmen have been a bit short, and that's really all I've done this year. I've no intention of playing finals if I don't have to. I'll do a lot better job when I'm standing on the hill over there telling them what to do. So, but if push comes to shove and it's a structural decision, well, we'll sit down and see if that's the best thing for the team come September.
Digby, the wins keep coming. Congratulations and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you very much to Digby Morrell. Now we will invite in our Sporting Globe Player of the Day. It is Tom Drake from the West Coburg Football Club. It was a tough decision, actually. Adem didn't, and Dave and I, we all went 3 different ways on this one, but we've come to a consensus decision, and Tom joins us now. Congratulations on the win. It must be a nice feeling to have not walked into the losing rooms yet this season. Tell us what it's like.
We had a few players out today, and we haven't really played too well the last couple of weeks. Like we had Oak Park, Hadfield, Craigieburn, and we started pretty poorly. And we were actually losing at half time in a couple of those games. So to come out and put in a 4-quarter effort was pretty good today. Get another win against Tallow, who are clearly, probably our main challengers. So it's very good to get a win.
When you're out there yourself, the coaches both said to us pre-game that today is about keeping the cards close to the chest, and you'll be playing in finals. But for you guys yourselves, you want to win. So I mean, did you leave anything in the tank out there today, or was it again just go as hard as you can sort of situation?
Oh look, I think probably both sides. Like it was basically a game for top spot. Like I think if they won, they probably would have gone on top. So. I guess everyone sort of wanted to win, as much as possible. I think we, everyone tried their absolute guts out, and it was a pretty good game to win. Yeah.
Tom, congratulations on the win.
Thanks,
I thought you played a really good game. You kicked a goal there in the first quarter, and then sort of moved towards the back.
Yeah.
You guys only conceded just the 3 goals there, bar the last one on the siren in the last 3 quarters of footy, and just 8 goals for the game. It was a really solid effort from the back line, and I thought you guys created really well today.
Yeah. Look, we pride ourselves on that. Like Oak Park managed to kick, I think, 120 against us, but bar that, I think we've kept every team under 80, and that's how we plan on winning games, is just by defence and trying to concede as little goals as possible. So I didn't know that 3 in the last 3 quarters, or maybe 4, but that's really pleasing.
With
effort.
That one after the side.
Yeah. That's a real pleasing effort. Yeah, we pride ourselves on that.
Tom, are you guys looking forward to the drier decks, the slightly warmer weather that you're going to get late in the season and in September? Are you guys sort of thriving in those conditions? Because obviously this time of year it's a very different ballgame.
Yeah, definitely like it was today. It was a real slog today. It was the last time we played them as well. Look, we think we play well in these conditions anyway. We think we sort of win the ball in tight pretty well, but yeah, of course, we got some outside runners, some good users of the ball, so the dry conditions in the big grounds will suit us for sure.
Now, we spoke to Marwan and also Digby about the guys doing Ramadan. As a teammate, what's it like for you knowing that 6 of your teammates out there haven't had any water since 5 a.m. and they're potentially doing it tough? I mean, does it play on your mind knowing that they might be running out of legs, or do you just trust that they've managed their bodies in a way that they'll know how to get through a game?
Oh, well, look, I suppose ever since they started playing footy, they've been doing this, so I suppose they know sort of how to manage themselves. But yeah, look, as a teammate, you just got to, you sort of see when they're tiring a bit, like, when the quarter's getting sort of later, they're obviously, running a bit low on energy, so you just got to pick yourself up and sort of work a bit harder to make up for them. But they do a great job considering they don't get anything to drink or eat. Yeah.
Dave, any more questions for our Sporting Globe Player of the Day?
Mate, I guess one more question. When you down in the back line there, who do you reckon gave you the most support today? What other players? I like the game of the entire back six, but who else did you think played a good game today?
Well, I reckon Tommy Watterson every week's rock solid down back. He's a very good one-on-one player. Satana Makota, number 11, he gives us a lot of drive. Good one-on-one player. Debris, Catrolli, kicks well. Look, I suppose everyone, does a great job down back. It's a good area of our game down back. Yeah.
Well, last matter of business, if
Beautiful.
you can hold up the prize for us, please. That's $40 to spend at the Sporting Globe in Moonee Ponds. You and Satan have both won this award this year, so you can share the fine together. But thank you very much for joining us, Tom. And may the wins continue. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Thomas Drake joining us on the EDFL review show. We have the Tullamarine coach Ash Manning about to join us, so he'll be coming in soon. Thank you to Anthony Lasco for keeping things moving in the post-game for us. And Ash Manning now will join us in the box. Ash, unfortunately, we've seen you twice this year and 2 defeats. How does today leave you feeling about where your team sits in the scheme of things?
Oh, it's pretty obvious where we sit. We're about 3 or 4 goals off the best side in the competition. We've got 5 or 6 weeks to try and rectify the mistakes we made today. And, credit to them, they're a very good side, well drilled. They had plenty of good players. Our boys tried really hard. The ball use, I think, was a really big factor in the game. I thought their ball use was a lot better than ours. And they pushed into defence really well. They're a very good side. As I said, we're probably 3 or 4 goals off where we need to be.
Ash, do you think it was attack or defence today? You've restricted them to 11 goals, but obviously you guys like to be, you are a very defensive side. Do you think you needed to kick more goals, or do you think you needed to restrict them to less?
Oh, did you 2 inside 50 stats today?
We didn't have that.
Well, I guarantee you our inside 50 stats were down a lot, so it's hard to kick goals if you can't get it inside 50. I thought Kent looked dangerous one-on-one. Doyle looked dangerous one-on-one, but we just didn't get it in there enough. And when we did, credit to West Coburg, they folded back. Their midfielders were superb. Abdul Wahed, Fidax, number 25, I don't know his name. He was terrific today. So, they were able to fold back and take up the space, and when the ball was going in there haphazardly like it was, they were able to run the ball out pretty easily most of the time, I reckon.
Ash, I know you can't afford to look too far ahead, but us media types obviously do, and you are going to get West Coburg again, most likely at some stage in the finals. Both games were in the wet. We're expecting, obviously, slightly better conditions in the finals on better decks. Does that suit your guys a little bit more if you're able to get these guys on a good day?
I hope so. I don't know if it does or not. I mean, they move the ball pretty slick. Well, hopefully it does, and that's if we get a nice sunny day in September, I'll be trying to sell that message, I guess. But I don't know. I mean, Mangum was quiet today. I don't really think the conditions played that much of a part insofar as I thought their inside midfielders were terrific. They beat us in the contested ball all day, and our midfielders tried hard, but we just don't have the bigger bodies that the West Coburg guys did. So maybe on a bigger ground, faster track, maybe we're able to spread them a bit more. A few of our run and carry type guys probably weren't suited to the smaller ground, but you've got to play in all conditions. It might rain grand final day, so we can't use that as an excuse. My excuse is they were too good.
I guess looking back to the previous match, Ash, I thought that your distributors from the back line were really good today. I thought they were a little bit quiet from that back line. Do you think that maybe moving forward, if you do get on the bigger grounds, that will favour you guys, that sort of that movement from the likes of Sayers and Heenan and those type of defenders?
Oh, I thought our back line did a terrific job again today. I thought the ball went in there heaps of times compared to our forward 50, and I thought the back line stood up well to keep them to only 11 goals. West Coburg genuinely have a good spread of goal kickers. I mean, that's probably one of their great assets is they've got a lot of guys who kick goals. I know McMillan ran down and kicked a couple today. He was playing wing and half back and all over the place. They seem to be able to change positions on the ground, and they sort of all know where they're all going. Like Fidax just pretty much went where he liked, and McMillan went where he liked, and they've obviously got that. The other players allow them to do that. So I don't think it was so much about our distribution from the back line. I just thought through the middle of the ground, when we won the ball, we didn't kick it well. That was probably our biggest problem. That was our second biggest problem. Our biggest problem was contested ball and clearances. I don't know if you had a stat for clearances, but we were well beaten in the
I
clearances.
think Digby said that they were +7 the clearances from the restart. So, but one area that I did find interesting, one of our boundary riders, Tamara Rocco, mentioned that you guys weren't going to tag Fidax, but to keep mindful of him. Do you think maybe that moving forward you might have to play a tagging role on some of those midfielders?
What do you think?
I'd probably say yes.
Of course.
Yep.
I'm sure Digby didn't show all his cards today as well as I didn't show all my cards today. What was the point? There's absolutely no point me tagging Fidax today. Robbie Hudson didn't play today. I can assure you Robbie Hudson won't be let run around either. But what was the point today? I mean, it was more about head-to-head, have a go, see how we went. I mean, Fidax lined up at half-back anyway. I could have put a defensive forward on him. He's an absolute gun player.
So would I be right in saying that maybe you're not too concerned about the result today?
No, I'm not that concerned. Not really. I mean, if we had have won, what would it have proven? It would have proven maybe that we're a bit better than we are. I'm not saying I wanted to lose. I definitely didn't want to lose. But what did they gain? They're going to finish top. We're going to finish second. If we'd have won, it would have gone down to the last game probably from percentage. So other than that, it makes no difference. There's been plenty of good sides come to West Coburg and go home losing by more than 3 goals, I can assure you of that. So I'm not disappointed. We've got work to do, and they're the best side, and we've got to gun them down. It's as simple as that.
It's important to note as well that 1 and 2 are going to play each other either way, and it's at a neutral venue, so it doesn't necessarily matter. Of course. Who finishes
did
top
Taylor's
and second,
Lakes win or lose today?
They got beaten by Oak Park.
Okay, so, it looks like pretty much now we're 3 games clear with 4 rounds to go, so we're probably going to finish second.
Exactly.
Last one. Any players you want to give a rap? Any positives that you come out of the game and say this guy has been a credit to himself the way he played?
Yeah, I thought Will Becker, number 31 for us, was terrific. Young fella. As soon as I saw the rain come down, I knew he'd love it. He loves it in and under, tough, hard at it. He was terrific. I thought Adam Scott in the ruck battled manfully all day. And as I said, I thought our back line was pretty good. Mick Egan tried hard in the midfield, had a bit of the ball, but as I said, overall our midfield was beaten today. And we were beaten probably a couple of weeks ago by Oak Park as well. So probably some of our secondary midfielders need to have more of an impact, I think, when they go on the ball and not leave it up to our 3 main mids, I think.
Well, Ash, thanks for being generous with your time again. We hope to speak to you after a win next time we see you. But thank you again, and all the best for the rest of the home and away season.
All right, no worries, guys. Thanks very much.
Ash Manning, the Tullamarine coach, joining us in the box. Congratulations on the win today.
Yeah, no problem.
A very tight finish. Describe to us the final scenes. Were you headed in the final quarter, or were you always in front after leading by 9 points at 3/4 time?
No, we're always in front. Again, our kicking for goal almost come back to bite us. We kicked 6 points in the last quarter from either set shots or blokes on the run, and there was a rush behind, so we kicked 7 points for the quarter. But we were able to hold on, which was pleasing.
As far as the closing stages, did Taylor's Lakes actually have a shot at goal to bring scores level or even to hit the front when it was 5 points the margin in the closing minutes of the game?
Yeah, they attacked. They attacked fairly heavily in the last probably 3 or 4 minutes of play. Our defenders stood up really well, though. We took a few telling marks, both across half-back and deep in defence. That was really pleasing. The end margin was actually 6 in the end, so we probably had a point up our sleeve, which was good.
And as far as the better performers, who were your match winners out there, and what were some of the key duels, be they midfield, forward, or back? Maybe some of the matchups where you guys came away on top.
Yeah, well, look, the midfield battle was really good today. Obviously, with us, with Kennedy, German, Pascal, and Hutchison. Obviously, then with D'Souza, Morelli, Asani, and those sort of guys. So I thought the midfield battle was really good. It was a fairly free-flowing game, to be honest. So thought that could create space going forward, tended to score. I thought our forward pressure was probably the difference in the game, particularly in the second quarter. You know, we were able to really lock the ball in and create scoring opportunities. And that's probably something we haven't been fantastic at. It was something that I asked our forwards to be able to give us in the second quarter, and they did that. And in the end, that was probably the difference in the game, our second quarter and our ability to keep the ball inside our forward 50.
We're speaking to Oak Park coach Ben Chapman after his team's one-goal win against Taylors Lakes. Does anyone on the sidelines or do any of your coaching staff keep an eye on what's going on around the grounds? Did you know at three-quarter time that Craigieburn was up by a point against Glenroy, and then in the final quarter, did you know that Glenroy were kicking away to a comfortable win?
No. To be honest, I try and focus on the job that I've got at hand on a Saturday, and the game's pretty tight at three-quarter time, so I probably wouldn't have been paying too much attention to that. It's something that we can't control, obviously, other results, so I don't tend to look at those until after the game. We just try and control what we can and get the...
And with that said, putting the result in context, crucial...
After two really good... Sorry?
The line just cut out there briefly. Just one last one. To put the result in context, to move that extra win away from the mix at the bottom, it must be frustrating to push the top two so close and then have to sit out with a bye, knowing that your team is in good form to push the top pair and just really waiting for the opportunity to play anyone else. How important is it now that you harness the momentum and keep moving away from the drop zone?
Yeah, we actually spoke about that last week. Obviously, with the bye, we'd had two really good performances against West Coburg and Tullamarine, and we're really competitive and and had opportunities in both games where we, arguably the result could have went the other way, just minor lapses. So we knew the bye was always going to be a bit of a worry for us. We trained fairly hard over that period, and we're able to continue again today. So the pleasing thing for us is we're continuing to improve, and that's what we're looking for. Hopefully we can continue the momentum that we've got over the last 3 weeks and the confidence we've got over the last 3 weeks, and that should be able to take us forward, hopefully.
Ben, Tony Lasco here. Just wondering, were there any major position changes you made throughout the game? Your team kicked 6 goals in the second quarter. Were there any major position changes? Did you have any players from the reserves team get a shot in the senior side this afternoon?
We had Nathan Olsen. We actually had a few from the Tullamarine game. We had four inclusions. Ben Lerm, Nathan Olsen playing his game for a little while. Ben Hutchinson, who was away with work for the Tulla game, and Roland. We're really experienced. Hutchins played a lot of footy. Same with Lerm. And Olsen and Hall were part of our leadership group. So we felt that those things were really good. As I said, in the second quarter, it was more wasn't positional. It was more the fact that we dug in and our forwards were prepared to work hard and really try and keep the ball in. Conditions weren't fantastic, obviously, so we thought if we could keep it inside our forward 50 for long enough, then hopefully the pressure would mount, we'd be able to score, and we were able to do that in the second quarter. And then, unfortunately, after half-time, we probably didn't have that opportunity, so...
Well, I think the line may have just dropped out a little bit there with Ben Chapman. But Ben, Oak Park heading off to West Meadows at Willowbrook next week. Congratulations on getting the result today, and enjoy a week with the pressure relieved ever so slightly after getting the 4 points. Congratulations, and thanks for joining us on EDFL Review.
Thanks, boys. Always nice to talk to you after a win.